Hello out there, broadcasting live on YouTube like I do every night. Every day on this channel, I try to upload videos. Every day I do try to go live. So you're welcome to join. You hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. There's a little bell symbol. You hit that to be notified. You come in, you join, you leave a comment. I read just about every comment and we have a conversation. In the beginning of the live feed, what I do is I pick a topic, something I experienced in life, something I'm going through in life, and I share on it. That's what I'm going to get ready to do. If these videos help you, you enjoy them, I appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up and you share the video. It's all free. All the videos are free. T-Ma, what's up? And Snow Dog, what's up? Thank you both. So what I'm reflecting on today, and what I want to start the show with is sex. That's right. S-E-X. Sex. One of the biggest driving forces of human nature. And I Googled today, I researched what is the percentage of time that the average human has sex throughout their lifetime. What do you think the answer is? Right? Leave a comment. What do you think the answer is? What's the average time a human has sex throughout their lifetime? The average is 0.45%. Less than 1%, less than half of a percent of your lifetime will be spent having sex. So out of 100%, 0.5, not even 1% of your lifetime will be spent actually engaging in sex. Yet lives are destroyed from sex. We are driven. The whole course of our life can change by the physical lust, passion, and drive of human nature to either reproduce, to have sex, not necessarily to reproduce. And that's one of the consequences of sex. One of the consequences of the 0.45%, the less than half percent of the time of your lifetime, one of the consequences is a lifetime commitment to a child, which is the most expensive thing you can ever do. And you're going to reproduce a child with someone you only have a 50-50 chance of staying together. You thought gambling was risky. You thought day trading was risky. You thought opening up your own business was risky. There is nothing more risky in life than having sex. Because it can produce a lot of consequences, financial and emotional. If you want your life to be shut down, go through a breakup. I did. Totally kill your spirit for living. Some people in here been through parents went through a divorce. Nothing more painful. Nothing more financially devastating. Save your money, pay off your debt. Not easy. But what I was reflecting on as I was researching this, because I was thinking about that, because I'm down here in Florida, I'm seeing beautiful women, and I love women. And I respect women as equals, and I've always treated them as such. So again, this is for both men and women. I know men may be more verbal as far as their sexual drive, but I know plenty of women that were very sexual. But either way, men or women. For men, it may be more physical. For women, it may be more emotional. But either way, it leads to complete devastation. That's why sometimes people say, and good people, love and respect to my guy, My Opinion, that's his tag name from the UK. He left a great comment last night on my video, and I appreciated that. But he said to me, he left a beautiful comment. I encourage you to go back and read it after the live feed. Some people watch these live feeds on replay and they leave a comment, and I appreciate that. If you ever do watch this on replay, leave a comment. And what he basically just said, he just left a nice comment, and he said, Sam, don't say that relationships are a disaster, because yes, even though they may end in sadness, they still can add value to your life, basically. I'm paraphrasing. And that's true. I thank God I've been in love. I thank God for every woman that I've been with. I thank God that they've added a great blessing to my life. But I want to be clear, they end in a disaster. They do. And it's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just life. Life in this world. Am I saying you should never have sex? No, I wouldn't want to take that joy from you. But what I'm trying to say is, out of your entire lifetime, the actual engagement of sex is less than 0.5%. So you don't marry someone for lust. Now you got to be attracted to them. You got to have passion. You can't just be friends. But what I'm trying to say, I remember Chris Rock had a stand-up comedian act. And he said, the longer you're married, the less sex you have, the longer you stay in the restaurant, the less time you spend in the bedroom. And that's just true. And that's with any relationship. You don't even have to get married. Because familiarity, being familiar with something, breeds contentment. You start to resent them. And when you're absent, it kind of like makes you miss them. And sometimes, like, I'm driving down the beach here in Florida. I see a beautiful woman with a nice body, whether it's a MILF or a young girl, and it makes me want to totally, like, oh my God. But I know enough to know it's a complete disaster. And the amount of time, the percentage amount of time that we would actually engage in sex versus and there's nothing wrong with relationship, but even that, it fades. And it's just, I want you to be mindful, especially young men and young women, and some women caught in unhealthy relationships. I know from growing up in a household of all women, I know sometimes women may equate sex with an emotional attachment and fulfillment, not necessarily just a physical expression of their love, but an emotional expression of their love. Like, I remember when I didn't eat with what my mother cooked. And I used to say, I'm not hungry, Ma, I ate out already. Or she would make me lunch. I said, Ma, I don't want lunch. And I remember like telling her, I told her respectfully and nice. And then like, I remember like a old guy pulled me aside, said, Sam, you got to eat this, because you got to understand, like, that's an expression of her love. Her cooking is an expression of her love. And when you don't accept the cooking, she feels rejected. Now, it made me appreciate things from a different perspective. But that being said, when I had to get my health together and my mom was still cooking pasta and fried chicken, I had to get in an argument with her because I had to change my life. But what I want to share with you is this life observation. That if you're ever driven by lust, passion, a nice body, a tall guy with a nice ass, a young girl, or a MILF, what you can see her panty line in her yoga pants, and you're getting ready to totally destroy your life, don't do it. Go masturbate. There's nothing wrong with masturbation. It's a safe, healthy way to fulfill a need. Now, you're not going to have the emotional part of it, but let me tell you something. You're going to do a lot of work. You're going to do a lot of emotional work. You're going to spend a lot of time, and you're going to spend a lot of money on courting someone, on getting to the point of the 0.45% of the time that you're actually going to engage in sex. 99.55% of the time is going to be not having sex. Is sex the end all be all? No, but it's a human nature desire that drives society. Last night on my live feed, we talked about the top 5 things that keep people up at night. The number 1 was not money. That was number 2. Number 2 was money. Number 1 was relationships. So if the number 1 thing people stress about and it keeps them up at night is relationships, how important is it to talk about sex and how it drives human nature and how it puts you in a relationship with someone that you may not be? It attracts you to someone you may not be. And it can totally change the course of your life for the small 0.5% time that you will actually engage in the act. That being said, I could spit all this knowledge, just like Menace to Society. Ain't nobody trying to hear that knowledge. But it's a seed. It's a seed. I'm planting a seed by sharing this video and sharing my life observation. Now, would the younger 18-year-old me listen to this? Probably not as much. So I'm not trying to say go over there and preach a sermon to a child. I'm just sharing. At 38, I'm just sharing. And we're all make mistakes. I make mistakes. No one's perfect. Again, some people struggle with food. Gluttony is a sin. Some people are overweight and they judge other people for sleeping around. Same thing. We're both sinners. Some people struggle with anger. Some people struggle with greed. Some people struggle with lust. Everyone has a different, we're all in the same boat. I saw a girl today, I'm getting ready to wrap up, then we're going to go live comments. I saw a girl today I haven't seen in Starbucks in a while. She works there. And I know her, from times going there. So she's getting ready to go, she's getting ready to leave the country for a couple months to go do something for her career. So when I saw her, I said, how's it going? I see you. I've been up in Jersey. I've been driving around. And she goes, everything is good. But when she said that, I could see the life was knocked out of her eyes. I said, what happened? Life beating you up? And she goes, yeah, Sam, life been beating me up a little bit. I said, well, I understand. Life was beating me up the past couple of weeks. This week, I've been getting my wind back under me. But I understand. And I didn't want to like ask her what was wrong and anything. Sometimes when you know someone's going through stuff, don't even ask her like what's wrong. I just said, I understand. I understand. Because we're all in the same boat. We all have different things we struggle with, and we're all fighting this world. And sex is a huge temptation. Nothing wrong with sex. Nothing wrong with sexual desire. Nothing wrong with pleasing yourself. Nothing wrong with pleasing other people. Nothing necessarily wrong with a relationship. I've done all those things. But what I can tell you is be mindful of what you would sacrifice for the 0.45, not 1%, 0.45 of 1%. Less than half of 1% of your lifetime will be spent actually doing it, but you can change the entire course of your life just by one act, one time. And that's the opening topic. Now, live comments. Let's see who's on. T-Ma again, Snow Dog, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Let me roll down my window. Beautiful night tonight. It's in the 70s. I walked after work. I went for a nice walk along the beach. I didn't get in the ocean, but I walked along the beach probably for about, it was gorgeous night. Luke, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Oh, that's the song. I remember that song. What was that, Salt and Pepper? The Good Bad Things. Yeah, I remember that, Salt and Pepper. I remember that was a good song. Early 90s. Luke, name that artist. I believe that was Salt and Pepper. Thank you. Jacob, sex, is it worth it? Question mark. Yeah, if you wish to lose half of your stuff to a woman. Well, that's true. I mean, and again, and it goes the opposite way too. And nowadays, women are making just as many, not all, are making just as much, if not more than men. A couple of my bosses have been women. So women have to be mindful too. Like if they get in a relationship, they have a kid, they can lose half of what they've worked for. And the laws are still catching up to today's society, because a lot of those laws that were written when just one gender, mainly the male gender, dominated and mainly only worked in society, and woman was a stay-at-home mom. And so a lot of those laws were written as such. And, today's society is a little bit more different. So I'm sure they could use some modification. But look, once you start to have kids and you involve that, there's no exact science into how you should do a law. It's, again, having a kid is one of the most expensive things you can do. Now, should you cry over spilt milk? No, you gotta go forward. But I'm just sharing. Luke, good to see you, my brother. And catch another cool live for you. Well, Luke, I appreciate you joining, man. Peace emoji, hand pump, and prayer emoji. Snow Dog. Sex with women kills just like drugs. But everyone does it. It's a driving force in this world. That's true. That's true. There's no doubt about that. I mean, again, and not necessarily bad. Intimate times with women and like the feeling that you get, there's some of the, and an opposite for women, I'm sure they feel the same way about men, but it's one of the most magical things in the world. But just like any magical thing, eventually the illusion disappears. And all you're stuck with is a guy in a funny hat, and he didn't pull a rabbit out of a hat, he just tricked you. But it was entertaining as hell. Make a mental note of that analogy. Luke, here's another throwback jam, since we're on the topic, Sam. Okay. Doing it, wow. Represents Queens. Oh, come on, that's LL Cool J, the GOAT, greatest of all time. Snow Dog, get rid of the woman, you solve the world's problem. No, I'm not going to say that. I know you're saying that in fun, but I thank God that this world is not all men and not all men dominated, because when men dominated the world, it was horrible. Okay, men failed when they were just dominating. We need an equally balanced society, and women are a blessing just like men are a blessing. It's just that it's hard to keep men and women together. It's hard to keep anyone together, and everyone has faults. Sometimes we get with the wrong person for the wrong reason, which I've done, but I won't allow that to make me bitter. Now, I know you're going through a divorce, you're just getting out of it, and I hear you're hurt, and I'm not going to try to take sides, because maybe she's wrong, maybe she's not. I don't know. I'm only getting one side of the story. I don't want to take sides. I just want to say I hear you, But I also want to say that I thank God for women and I put them as equal. And men, when men have all the power, it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's shown that they oppressed women for many years, and they didn't do the right thing. So that's not the answer either. We just need evenly yoked, and then, in my opinion, just wait till you can marry a robot. Okay, until you can marry a robot legally, just masturbate. That's what I say, Luke. Hope you had an awesome, productive day. It was Monday. Thank you. Today, my brother. Today have been proactive on the job search. Good job. So wish me luck, my brother, and positive vibes. I have been praying for you. I pray for everyone going through financial hardship and everyone looking for a job. I've been there, and I know it's scary when you don't have income coming in. So I will keep you love and respect. Zakia is love and respect to Alaska. Alaska's in the house. That's where Zakia is from. It's necessary for the survival of the species. Well, robots, not when robots take over, not the individual. So it's worth it for human race, not necessarily for individuals. Well, I think the human race surviving is meaningless because most people are struggling with depression, anxiety, and they're not happy in life. So why would you want to put that burden on your child just to continue the human species, just to continue a cycle of pain? I think having a child is very selfish. I do. That's my opinion. So I don't want to force my opinion on others, but I have to share my opinion. I'm not going to go along with the status quo that we should just I'm not going to go along with the fact that we should just reproduce because we want the human race to dominate society. To me, that's a stupid reason to have a child. For me, as a grown man, 38, halfway through my life, I've been blessed. I've been privileged in many ways. What I can tell you is life sucks, but we're blessed if you're healthy and everything's going well. But if you lose your health and things go bad, you hate life. Like the girl I just saw at Starbucks, I know what she felt in her eyes. I saw her eyes, pain. And she's healthy and she's working, and I saw the world kicking her in her ass. And what will she do in a few years? She'll get lonely, she'll get in a relationship, she'll have a kid, and the cycle will repeat. And so I think having a child is overrated, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Everyone should do what they want. It's no dog. I'm stuck in pain now through sex. I understand, brother. It's all love. I'm praying for you, man. You know I think about you. Desert B10, hey, it's been 5 years for me. Whew. And I'm not chopped liver. I'm not mad at that. And men all ages hit on me. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, nope. I'm not mad at that. I have known some women that have no sex drive and they don't like sex. And I know some women that have higher drive than me and they would get mad at me when I didn't want to. So again, everyone is different. And, everyone's different. Everyone has a different sexual drive. I remember like in sex ed during high school, we talked about that. And as I got older, I realized that. So, again, there's no one answer. But again, I think masturbation is a healthy thing. And I think it'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Joe G. Hey, Sam. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Joe G, thank you for the comment. Same to you. Luke. Luke says, I'll never forget some funny woman evangelist told me that in the congregation, if you do not dingy from the gut, he gets no dignity. So funny. Okay. I don't know if I get that one, but all right. Snow Dog. Sex is for mating, not for pleasure. Yeah, I mean, I think sex would be better if it was up to me, in my opinion. Some people don't want to hear this. I think all men at birth, just like most men in America get circumcised, not all, but many men get circumcised at birth. I think all men, all baby boys should have a vasectomy. You don't remember when you were circumcised, you damn sure ain't going to remember a vasectomy. And then at 25, then you have the choice to reverse that vasectomy. A vasectomy is when basically you cut the tube that produces the semen that would impregnate a woman. So I don't think until you're 25 or 30, you should be making the decision to bring another person into this world. Now, they'll never do that. Why? I mean, one is the economic system depends on population growth. Okay. That's why, like, it's a stupid debate with immigration. If America doesn't have a good immigration flow, America collapses. Okay. Because the baby boomers are dying. There's more older people in America than younger. And if you prevent immigration, the whole system collapses. Okay. And so because third world countries produce babies at a bigger rate. Why? Because when there's higher levels of poverty and less opportunity, birth rates are higher. When there's a greater educated and a greater wealthier society, birth rates are lower. So how does a society that has less birth rates and more education, how do they grow? Through immigration. Never forget it. Okay, it's very simple. And that's don't let them fool you. It's no dog. People have it confused about sex. Sex can believe me, just like any type of thing in life. Like I remember, what was that comedian? I don't know. Maybe it was Chris Rock also. He did a sketch. He goes, at that time, everyone would watch porn on their VCR. That was before the digital era. So he goes, why do men always get caught with porn in the VCR? Like you watching porn, a porn tape, and then you masturbate, and then you forget that you left it in there. Your wife or your girlfriend finds it. And he goes, I'll tell you why men forget and leave the VCR in the VCR player. It's because when you're masturbating, you're not in your right mindset. Just like when you're gambling and all that adrenaline's running, you're not in your right mindset. You're throwing down hundreds on the table, you know what I mean? And the same thing like when you're in sex, you're passionate, you know what I mean? You're all worked up. You're not in your right mindset. You're not making a logical decision. You're making a decision based on emotion. And so a lot of times you do irrational things because you're using most of your emotional primitive nature rather than any logical nature. And so that's how it gets humankind in trouble. Never forget that. Good job. Ryan B. I had many more partners when I was aged 16 to 21. Yeah, I think it starts to slow up after 25. Why? Because many of the people that you knew, and when you're in high school, it's just a big social party. And everyone's young and experiment. After you're 25, people are getting older and people are getting married and people stop fooling around. And then you got to get into the MILF game. Okay? What's the MILF game? The MILF game is, look, then you got to start going to girls that are 35 and up, because then they got married at 25, they got divorced at 32, they got one kid, and now they're looking for a guy that makes them laugh, has a little bit of a gut, and doesn't judge them for chocolate and cheese. Who's that guy? Me. Clean up on the MILF game. He said, I had many partners between the age of 16 to 21. I can't count them all on my toes and fingers. It was my number one motivation. Oh, for most people at a young age, it is. I have no want for it anymore. I got it all out of my system. Well, I still have a passion for women, but I just masturbate. I'm being honest. It's just a bodily function, just like peeing. Everyone pees. Everyone does number two. It's a human function, and it's like people laugh, like, when you say penis or masturbation. But it's all part of like human nature, and it's safer and healthier to do that than to go have sex with people, because it's risky as hell having sex, and you're gonna get in a relationship so you can have sex 0.45% of the time. You're going to get in a relationship so you can have sex less than 1% of the time. That's a complete disaster. Talk about like the house always wins. You're going to lose your shirt. You know what I mean? You're better off day trading. You're better off, gambling. You're better off with Shaq on a free throw line with your life. You remember Shaq? He was like 50% free throw shooter. He had a better chance of scoring than you did in a relationship. Oh, it's a disaster. Ryan B. But I love looking. Yeah, I like looking too. Somebody said on one of my videos, don't look too long, Sam. That'll cause child support. No disrespect. BC. Long time subscriber, thank you. First time commenting, thank you. Sex will always be a draw like money. That's true. That's a good point. As long as there is greed and testosterone. That's true. Human nature. Good job. Thanks for all the value you provide, Sam, in your videos. Well, thank you, BC. I appreciate you leaving that comment. I appreciate everyone leaving a comment, but definitely for you having the courage and you subscribing for a long time. And that was actually a great comment. I totally believe in that. Money and sex are driving force in our decisions, including me. Different decisions I make involve money. Again, sex, I'll just masturbate, but money, that's why I work. That's why I do certain things. Now, I try not to manipulate people. That's what I've learned in life. I'm very upfront. I make false statements to get anything out of anyone. So like, even if I was in a relationship or something like that, which I really haven't done in a long time, but I would honestly say, look, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to be hurt. But I've tried that. Even when I don't want to be hurt and we both agree to certain rules, just like the Seinfeld episode, we both end up hurting each other just because it's human nature, not because we want to hurt each other. But all you can do is be upfront. If you want to roll the dice, again, I do this. I'm human, so I'm not above anyone. So good point. Thank you, brother. Buljav. Hey, Sammy. Still working on getting rid of my stuff. Throwing stuff out is the hardest part of the simple life, but you got to do it. And making the move to my vehicle. I'm going to upload a video tomorrow about living in your car. Is it worth it? It's not an easy decision. It's not for everyone. He says, I am thinking about going to Florida also. but the low wages make me a little hesitant. Well, it's an actual fact. The wage on average, the job wages here in Florida are lower, but the houses are a little bit cheaper. No state income tax, and if you're going to live in your car, if you're going to live in a small little house, you don't have to make as much as you would in New Jersey. So you can still live pretty much the same life, but there's an adjustment. And what I recommend is exactly what I did, okay? That's the only thing I can recommend. I can't say that my way is the only way. But what I did was I visited Florida for a few years, in the summer, in the winter. I took my vacation time. I came down here, and then I started making decisions because, again, Florida is so big, you're going to have to see, too, what part of Florida do you want to live? Do you want to live in South Florida where it's real hot, humid all year long, like maybe North Florida where there's a little bit of a change of season and it's cooler up there during the winter? Do you want to live on the west coast of Florida or the east coast? I mean, do you want to live in a panhandle or do you want to live down in Miami? So you have to start researching. You need to look on Indeed.com for jobs. You need to know your budget. How much do you need to make each month if you live in your car or if you're going to rent a small little apartment or you're going to buy something small? I mean, I've done videos on home bases. You can buy a home base for as little as $25,000, but you may have to commute an hour and a half to work, and you still need money to do that. So, I mean, you've seen my journey, but that's what I would share with you, Luke. I definitely had value in my life with women that came in that were really special, no doubt. I would not be in a goodest place in my life if I didn't have interaction with women. Women have been a blessing in my life. Now, they've also caused some pain, but not because they're a woman, just because we're all human. And relationships are hard to keep together. Getting into a relationship is one of the most risky things you can ever do. And then when you add sex, your risk level goes off the hook. That's why it's magic when it's good and it's a disaster when it's bad. And it eventually gets bad. I hate to say that. But look, are all relationships bad? All of them are a lot of work. You have to decide for you based on who you are, what you want out of life, if it's worth it. That's an individual decision. For me, you know the answer. It's not worth it. That's why I live in my car with no girlfriend, with no kids, and I just watch porn. But I'm not saying this life's for everyone. So, you know what I'm saying? Air mop. It's a fire in here today. Sam Priest. Them young fellas. In my opinion, the cost of having a child outweigh the benefits. I agree. That's from my opinion and your opinion. I agree. Especially for a man. Now, I want to say this. I do have one male friend that I know that he loves children. He has 2. And he said if he had the money, he would have 7. So there are exceptions. So again, everyone should do whatever they want. And then he says, I have no child and will never have. I'm 36. Yeah, I think every man should have every man born should have a vasectomy and then only reverse it when he's 25, because then you're starting to make somewhat intelligent decisions. Before then, it's just all lust. Luke, so a basic income for everyone, and every male gets a vasectomy when they're born. I think you'll totally eliminate poverty and it'll be a healthier society. A lot of people don't want to hear that, Luke. But it's definitely a lot harder to have a filling relationship in this fast food society and mentality that we live here. Everything is so temporary and fleeting. Well, that's true. Life is fleeting. But that's why I think it's irresponsible to bring a child. Life is fleeting. Why would you bring I don't know. That's my opinion. I hear you, Jacob. Jack or go to escort. Well, I got around escorts for a little bit, but that's a disaster too, man. I mean, one is in most states it's illegal, so you can possibly get in trouble with the law. 2 is, I mean, disease. That's the other part of sex. Why is it so risky? You can get a disease. Either you're going to have a child, you're going to get a disease, you may get arrested, or it's going to end in a complete disaster. Straight wait and exhale where your house burns down. Look, what I would tell you is do what you want. It's your life. But the risk for me outweighs the reward. Unless it's an exception. Once in a while I run into an exception, but on average, ain't worth it. James, there's nothing wrong with some good sex every once in a while. Yeah, if you can have it without strings attached, but even then, it never pans out like that. There's always strings attached to everything. Luke, I always appreciate your live feeds, man. Well, I appreciate you as well. I love how you diversify your topics, and it's always fun to engage and listen. Well, I appreciate everyone. It wouldn't be as good without you. So thank you for everyone leaving a comment. Thank you for everyone who clicks the thumbs up and shares it. It's a two-way street. If I just barked into my phone and no one talked back, these feeds will be nothing. So I acknowledge you guys, and I appreciate that, and I thank you. Jacob, I'm 18 and listening. Well, Jacob, I hear you. Now, I would listen when I was 18, but I would also say you're still going to make mistakes. But again, all I can do is share my life. I'm not dictating that you guys should live your life by Sammy's gospel. I'm not. I'm sharing. We're having a conversation, and then everyone should live their own life however they want. Luke, like my man Luke Skywalker says, ass down. That's the way we like. I understand that. He is actually from South Florida. Yeah, I know Two Live Crew. I remember buying one of their first CDs, and that was when it was a big deal in the early '90s. When it was a big deal, I actually remember buying their tape, their cassette tape. It said parental advisory. And it was a big deal to buy a tape that said parental advisory. That's when the whole government at that time was against rap and every bad leak. And they said like they were, horrible. And I remember that whole thing. And even Al Sharpton, they were taking the CDs and they were stomping them in the street. It was a whole big show. I remember Fat Joe. Fat Joe's a rapper. Like they were doing that in the early '90s. Even Al Sharpton was protesting against rap and everything. And then he said he ran into Al Sharpton in the late '90s in the club, and his man introduced him like, "This is Al Sharpton." And Al Sharpton had like a big protest against using the N-word. I'm not going to say it, but you know what the N-word is? A racial slur. Al Sharpton's black, and obviously he said it was a bad comment. And Fat Joe, he's Puerto Rican. So Fat Joe would use the N-word in raps. And then so when he saw Al Sharpton in the club, Al Sharpton said, "What's up, my N?" And like Fat Joe said, he was blown away because he just saw him on TV, like protesting rappers using the N-word. And he goes, he was like he never said anything, but he was the biggest hypocrite in the world. And he goes, so that was an interview I saw Fat Joe give. I think it was on Vlad TV. So, you take everything that everyone says with a grain of salt. That's what I say. Desert be tan. I'm curious from a man's perspective, when is it okay to have sex? On a first date, or should you wait a couple or a few weeks or a few months? It's all individual. To me, it's no different. In today's point in society, when you're younger and in a different point in society, there was like a metric. In my experience, people don't wait any longer than 3 months. And I think the average would probably be 3 to 4 weeks. But I know people that got married after one night, they had sex and they married that person. So there's no one answer. Everyone's different. There's no one answer. It doesn't matter how you cut the pie. At the end of the day, whether you have sex on the first night or you wait a year, on average, throughout the course of your lifetime, you will have sex. You will actually be engaged in sex only 0.45% of the time. So it may start off like you're having sex every night for a couple of years, but that's going to taper off. And then if you do the math throughout the course of your entire lifetime, it's less than 0.5% of your entire lifetime. That's a low percentage, Luke. But I definitely hear what you're saying tonight. It's so true. It's definitely overrated, especially the disaster that it can cause. Oh, definitely true. If you're with the wrong person and negative results come out, yeah. And when you're young and when you're trying to figure out life, it's not easy to decide if you're with the right or wrong person. And then once you're caught in that lust and that passion, it's hard to pull yourself back. Again, it's like the same thing when you get that gambling rush. When you get caught in that moment, like, you know what I mean? You can't help yourself. Understand that? Daz. Yeah. Have you got any kids? No, I don't have any kids. Daz. What's your job? Capacity manager. Started off as an electrician, went to electrical engineer, had my own electrical contracting company for a while, and that was it. How much do you make money off your YouTube channel? Approximately about $250 a month. Luke, I like to move it. I like to move it. Yeah, I don't remember that one. Guess tonight's topic is bringing up old school songs. I'm not mad at that. Music is great. Regang, explain to me why. Explain to you why what? Sex isn't worth it because out of the course of your entire lifetime, Google it, the amount of actual time you'll have sex will be less than 0.5%. So maybe you'll have a lot in the beginning, but long-term you won't. So if you get involved in a relationship solely for passion and lust, you're going to end up in a disastrous divorce, breakup, and you're looking at your lips, highly injector lip kit, because you have to impress a man that doesn't care about you. He only calls after 12 o'clock because he just wants sex. He just wants the 0.5% of the time. And now you have insecurities. Now you're only posting pictures with filters. Why? Because you want to incentivize them with sex. You monetized your life with sex, just like this channel's monetized for money. And so eventually, how does it end? In a complete disaster. Complete disaster. Somebody give me the explosion emoji. Why? Because that's a disaster emoji. Okay, 100. Good job. Zakia, I don't believe people need to procreate. Me neither. When my husband was alive, we decided not to have kids. I think that's wise for many people. No need to. I agree. There's over 7 billion on the planet. Zakia, me and you on the same page. All that glitters ain't gold. Rakang, me and you on the same page on that. Good job. Emma, having a child today is selfish. I agree. Especially because a child is not consulted or given a choice in the matter. I agree. Sam is giving a genius. Well, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not saying you have to live by my opinion. I'm sharing my opinion and my experience. Thank you. Joe Boss. Hey, Sam. Love and respect. Women. Beautiful Florida sunset. Oh, it was nice tonight. I posted a couple of pictures of the Florida sunset on my Instagram account. My Instagram account is inspire, the word inspire, the symbol _38. Inspire _38. Posted a couple of good ones. Regang. Hey, you. Don't forget the things you should remember. You can't recycle wasted time. Well, I agree with that. But you're going to waste time in this life. One of the things that I've come up in a recurring conversation with people that get out of a relationship is they regret wasting time in that relationship. Well, I can't get out of a relationship now. I invested 2 years. I understand that pain. It's the same thing like getting out of... I can't stop trading stocks. I've been doing this for 2 years. Like, I can't take the loss. Sometimes you just got to say, look, 2 years were wasted. 5 years were wasted. 20 years were wasted. 30 years were wasted. I can't make the decision for anyone else. But what I can say is that is the reality all of us face in life in some form. That we wasted time, we wasted money, but it's all part of life lessons. And it's part of life in this world. That's why you shouldn't reappropriate. There's a B10. Let me drink. You guys got me all dehydrated. Desert B10. Sex should be the foundation in a relationship. Oh, I have a mad sex drive. I just don't want a meaningless copulation. I don't know how I'm saying that. I want sex with a purpose, with one man, not the next man. Yeah, but even that, then it gets boring. Because then you've been with the same person so long, you know all their moves, and then you get seduced by the mailman. Or you get seduced by the guy on YouTube. And the next thing we know, we're doing a meet and greet in Starbucks, and it's a disaster. Did you ever see the movie Unfaithful? I want everyone to YouTube Google the movie Unfaithful with Richard Gere. I remember watching that movie after I got a relationship. I said, that's exactly how some relationships go, and it's scary. It's almost a horror movie. It's about a woman, a faithful woman that, well, no, not a faithful woman, unfaithful. Rihanna did a song about it, okay? Unfaithful, look at it. It was about a woman married to a man. The man was faithful, and his wife loved her husband until some sexy young French guy bumped into her. They got bored with life. That's what happens. You get bored with life. You get bored with your partner. You stop feeling pretty, you stop feeling special, or you're a man and you start wanting a different, DMX says like, yeah, I like scrambled eggs, but once in a while I like cereal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, familiarity breeds contentment. And sometimes you want something different. So next thing you know, you're Mr. Faithful, okay? Don't matter if you're going to church or, if you're in the street, you're Mr. or Mrs. Faithful. Then all of a sudden, you go out on girls' night, or you go out on guys' night, and you feel a little frisky. And you're tired of the same person saying the same thing. You just got in an argument, and next thing you know, you commit adultery. Does it happen? Yeah, because we're all human. Okay, it's a disaster out there. Right. Love and respect. Joe Boss. Hey, Rob. Yes, thanks. Love and respect. Whew. Praise the Lord. You guys got me sweating up in here. Damn, I love Florida. I love you guys too. Okay? Keep positive. I know life's not easy. Just do the best you can. Don't worry about if you mess up. We all mess up. Zakia. Leaving in the VCR. Remember that? What's a VCR? Yeah, some people don't even know, I should say. Is that like an 8-track? Yeah, VCR was like a video 8-track. That's true. Yeah, I forget. I'm old. Look, I'm 38. Some people may not know that. Sam, I'm 18. Love and respect. I remember when I was 18. 20 years changes a lot. I'm 38 now, so I'm 20 years older than you. But at the end of the day, 18, you can still, you still understand what life is. You're figuring it out. Love and respect to you on your journey, brother. Glenn O. Been watching your channel for a while. Thank you. And it's a mind opener. Thanks for the good videos. Well, Glenn, thank you for the comment. And I appreciate that, man. Love and respect. Thank you. Milano, that's my brother. Milano from Miami. Him and his guy Emilio dating a lot of Colombian girls. Now, Milano knows about it turning into a disaster, all right? Milano's a good guy, lives down in Miami full time in his Class B RV. I love that brother. Let's see what Milano got to say. Sammy, remember we are humans. Well, that's true. That's why I want to marry a robot, okay? But sometimes we act like animals. Yeah, I agree with that. Some people are more animals than others. Laugh out loud. Milano, you know that. Milano out there having sex with all those Colombian girls. I'm not mad at you. Snow Dog. Most men know if they come across a bag of money, they already know what they are about to do by a woman. I'm not. I'm throwing that in the savings. If it's a big enough bag, maybe buy a home base. And that's it. I just want to live off the interest. I just want to live a peaceful life. Like, even if I don't want to marry, maybe I don't even know if I want to date again. I haven't dated in like 2 years. It's just not worth it. It's for me. I mean, I got the same place with different investments. At some point, I was like, I'm just losing too much money. It's not worth it. And the same thing with relationships. I'm losing too much emotional energy. It's not worth it. So I'm sharing my life. I'm not saying you should live by my life. I'm sharing my life. I got to a point with certain financial investments and with certain relationships that it's just not worth my money or energy. And so I just got the hell out of there. You should do whatever you want. Mel, when it comes to porn, only two kinds of people. One that watch and the one that lies about watching. I totally agree with that. Porn saves lives, literally. Me too, I agree with that. They try to say porn was destroying lives, but porn was, to me, saving lives. Priests were molesting boys, and senators were sending dick pics to prostitutes. So what do I say? Watch more porn and don't be a hypocrite. Good job. Marin. Hey, Marin. I love Marin. Very nice woman. Intelligent and a loving, kind heart. Now, I'm not pandering. Does kindness matter? It does. Sometimes I say, Sam, now I'm a kind-hearted guy, but like I come across in an hour video, you see me like 1 hour per day. And so I come across sometimes like fiery, but I try to be kind. Now I can't be Joel Osteen kind because that's not me, but I try to be a loving guy. All right, Marin. My own perspective is that having sex in love, and then she gave like the heart emoji eye face, has less to do with faction and more about uniting energies. Well, I like to make them squirt. I do, and I have. And what I can tell you is that's exciting too. That said, love can exude for so many in seams. Why is that? Love and respect. Marin, we both know, Marin, it's a disaster out there. I love you and I appreciate you. Okay. Joe Boss. Hey, Sam. Congrats on 6,000 subscribers. Thank you, and I appreciate everyone. I started following when you had 5,000. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate everyone. I also appreciate people that unsubscribe to me because I've been on the other side of that. Like, I've unsubscribed to channels, so I appreciate if people watch one video or they watch all of them. I have tried to mature over my time doing YouTube. I started my YouTube channel in July of 2017. So it's about a year and 3 or 4 months, about a year and a half almost that I've been doing YouTube. And a couple friends actually said, Sam, they knew who I was. They said, Sam, you'll be good on YouTube. Just do it. And say, even if you get a subscriber per day. Now, you couldn't, it'd be very hard to earn a living on YouTube full time. If I didn't have my full-time job, I'd be broke. Like if somebody asked me how much I make right now, I have 6,000 subscribers. I have 1.3 million views total on my channel. And I've made $2,000 total. I make about $250 a month. I'm thankful for that. I'm honestly sharing exactly what I make. Like some people, like they tell you every bullshit statistic about their channel, excuse my language, but then they don't tell you what you make. I want to know, you know what I'm saying? I want to know like the real deal. But I would love to be able to do this full time, but to be able to do this full time, you'd have to make like at least $6,000 a month because it's all pre-tax. Because you got to pay your taxes, and you have to pay health insurance, and you have to pay a retirement fund. So you can't. There's no way. I mean, it'd be very hard to. And I live simple. Stretch. Condoms don't protect against diseases. Not all of them. That's right. Just lowers the risk. That's an excellent point. There is no guarantees in life. All you do in life is mitigate the risk. Good job. Mighty Mo, what's up, brother? Everyone seems to disgrace prostitution, but so many do it at the same time. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Look, prostitution is legal, I think, in certain parts of Las Vegas. So it's not illegal everywhere in the United States. And now, truth be told, when we went to Miami for a friend of mine's bachelor party, there were some prostitutes there. Now, I'm not saying I was involved, but look, so, if you want to know where a lot of prostitutes are, go to Miami Beach. Like growing up, there used to be an HBO special on like back in the day about prostitutes, and they showed prostitutes in Atlantic City and in the Bronx and in different areas in New York, and that was like where they were the most. But what I can tell you in my life experience, I've traveled up and down the East Coast. I've never seen more prostitution than I do in Miami Beach. Truth be told, and they're gorgeous women, young women, but that's what it is. I don't get involved in that. I mean, most of them young girls, and he's trying to make a living for themselves. Uh, I don't get involved in that, but I've seen it. It is what it is. Everyone's got to hustle. As long as someone's not hurting someone else, it's mutual. It's up to them. But it's too risky. You can get arrested for that, especially down in Miami. And there's so many other bad things, and you can get set up. There's so many other bad things. For me, it's not worth it. Everyone should do what they want. I know guys in Jersey going to Asian massage parlors and getting happy endings. Same thing. All right. And I know a couple of them got raided. So, what I'm saying? Everyone does what they do. For me, I just rather watch free porn and not get in trouble. That's what I do. Good job. Marin, Mighty Mo, they do. Snow Dog, Sammy, get that chest of gold. We know where you're going to the milk factory. Yeah, if they give me like what was that thing? What was that movie? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or something where he had the golden ticket. Like if they gave me the golden milk ticket, I would cash that in. Oh yeah. Good job. Mark, wife and children make you just saying, well, look, if you wanted to, I know some guys that and some girls, they want a family. That's their dream. So I don't want to be a dream stealer. If that's someone's dream and that's what they want to do, again, love and respect. But in my opinion, I agree with you from the standpoint of it's a huge burden to have a family, financially and emotionally. But it's a big burden for me because I don't want it. Even if I wanted it, I know it would be a lot. But what I've experienced in life is if you want something, then you may be willing to deal with the aggravation. I don't want a house, right? So some people look at my lifestyle and they're totally turned off by a guy living in his car. But for me, I'm totally turned off by the responsibility that comes with owning a house. I know because I owned one for 15 years. That's like being married, okay? Because just like a marriage, it never stops with a house. And it never stops with a kid and family. And so I don't like that level of commitment. That's what puts a anxiousness in my spirit, that it never ends. See, I don't like to know that it never ends. I like to know that it ends because I already feel like in this world, this shit ain't never going to end. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want more of that pain. I can't handle it. This is the way I am. Marin, laugh out loud. Vasectomy at birth? Yeah, that's a good idea. I should run for president on that. You slay me. Well, I think it's a good option. Maybe they are just might be another less violent way. That's not violent. Most males get a circumcision at birth in America. That means they cut the foreskin off your penis and no babies feel it. So if they don't feel that, you think they're going to feel like a little tube being tied? They ain't going to feel that. Even grown men. I know a couple guys that got vasectomies. They didn't feel it. They were in and out of the doctor the same day and they were grown men. And all their nerves. They ain't going to feel nothing. Good job. And it can be reversed. Stretch. And these females are not all females are heartless. And some males are dogs. It's a both thing. You can't say one or the other. They have STDs and you still sleep with you. Well, it cuts both ways. So I got love and respect for women and love and respect to men. And I've been through enough in life that I'm a fair person. It cuts both ways. Good job. Glenn, laugh out loud, Marin. BC. Retired at 47. God bless you, man. Living off your stock portfolio? I'm proud of you, brother. I could never do it. Maybe because I went too risky with day trading, but I give you a lot of credit and I celebrate your success. 20 years plan. Vasectomy at 30 years old. Good job. With a long-term girlfriend. I'm not mad at you. Spent 7 years in PSL. What's that mean? Florida. Oh, Pensacola, Florida. You are on the right track. Well, thank you, brother. I don't know if I'll ever do stocks again because I just didn't see the point where I was going to turn into the profit. Now, again, I did risky. I did day trading. I didn't do like index funds. So I don't know what you did if you want to share, but I probably wouldn't even get back in the game, man. But I'm happy to hear you did. I'm happy to hear you got out of the game well, man. Good job. I'll probably be working until I'm 67. I can't see how. I mean, unless a miracle happens, it could happen. Maybe YouTube will blow up or something. But for me to pay my own health insurance, to put into retirement, and to make at least take home $3,000 a month, I don't see how I'll be able to do that. I mean, I'm hoping I get lucky or something on YouTube, but I think at the end of the day, I'll be working until I'm 67. I hope not. I thought I would do big on stocks for a while, but I don't want to lose any more money. I'd rather just bank it. I mean, it's just too risky. Same thing with sex. I don't want to get involved anymore. It's just too risky. AI gaming, punishment typo. That's okay. Let me read your whole comment. I apologize, brother. Good to see you, AI. I love and respect everyone in Canada. He says, in my 20s, I was in a band having a very good time. I know what that means. But there always seemed to be a price to pay to getting laid. Oh, that's true. Money, disease, and some sort of abuse. A punishment always followed. That's a life testimony. You guys and girls will be wise to listen. Good job, AI. Good to see you, brother. Air Mob. Money is a key factor in all relationships. It's a key factor in all of life. I totally agree with that. I just read where Alex Rodriguez, the one who's with J-Lo right now, his ex-wife, they're trying to come back to terms because when he was making $300 million, when he had a contract making for $300 million, he was paying his ex-wife $100,000 a month. And so now that he's no longer making that amount of money because he's retired out of baseball, he wants to knock down to $50,000 or something. And they're having a contentious argument even after the divorce. And I know a guy who was an electrician, and after the divorce, he has to pay his wife alimony until the day he or she dies. And I remember him telling me, I can't wait till she dies. That's truth be told. And he was a Christian. And he was a guy who used to pray in tongues. He used to believe he didn't like to celebrate Halloween. He didn't like to do any of that. But he was praying, he was hoping his ex-wife would die, and he went to Asian massage parlors. What should that tell you? We're all sinners. It's only by the grace of God. Never forget that. Good job. Pay to play, baby. It's the same, just different strategies, in my opinion. Well, Air Mob, good comment. I agree with you. Praise the Lord. Got me sweating in here. Snow Dog gave me a lot. Oh, the explosion emoji. It's a disaster out there. Good job. Glenn O, awesome movie. Dang, what movie was I saying? Oh, I forgot. Thank you, brother. I don't even remember, man. Thank you, though. I appreciate it, Glenn. Friar S was a good movie. Damn, what movie did I say? Now I forgot. Angelina, the beautiful Angelina. Now, I would like to have sex with Angelina, but I wouldn't, because I don't know if her profile picture is real, if that's how she looked 20 years ago. Who knows? And it would still end in a disaster. Let's see. Not worth it. I agree with you. Too many risks and repercussions. I agree. For women, both emotionally and physically. I tend to agree. It ends in a disaster. I definitely agree with that. And most of the time, better to invest that time and energy into a hobby. Angelina, I agree with you 100%. Freyer S. I remember when my dad first got a VCR. Laugh out loud. Yeah, remember them? I remember when my mom brought one home, and it was actually attached to the TV. And it was like a mind-blowing thing. Like, oh, we made it. We made it in life. Because we didn't have to hook up the VCR to the TV. It was actually built into the TV. It was amazing. But then it was like having a Class B or Class C. It was amazing. Desert B-Tan. Role play. Oh, that turns me on. Well, not like a vampire. I don't like that. Or a gangster. I will roll the dice. Yo, I like role play, but I wouldn't want to get into that. Like, I remember I had a girl, she liked S&M, like the rough sex, like the 50 Shades of Grey. And I was like, I don't get into that. But love and respect. Free S. I am 10 years older than you. Laugh out loud. Yep, I hear you. We're all some older, some younger. Free S. Redheads are a good catch, too. I never got into redheads. Everyone's different, though. I'm not mad at that. Marin. I've known more people who never cheat. Others who could never be faithful. Know thyself. Know if the other, him or self. Yeah, I agree with that. Know yourself and know if your partner knows themselves. I agree with that. Now, I will say some of the times I looked real foolish was when I was insecure and I bombed at sex. I mean, I really did badly. And I embarrassed myself, whether it was actually sex or just making out, because I was judging myself. I was worried about how I was going to do. The best intimacy you will ever have is when both people are secure with themselves. I've been part of that. And then it was amazing. But I've been on the other side. I've been embarrassed. So I've seen both sides. So I definitely agree with that statement in context. Luke preaches, Sammy preach, and then get fist pump emoji. Thank you, Snow Dog. I hear you, Sam. Triple exclamation. Only experienced men come to the logical decision to seek peace. I got you, brother. Just kidding around. Snow Dog, I'm with you, man. Love and respect. Jing Chao, what's up, brother? Hey, Sam. Around the same age as you. Love and respect. Would you rather be 18 and figuring out life or current age being wiser and know the world sucks? Just curious. Oh, definitely. I don't want to be. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to be younger. I don't want to live any longer in this world than I have to. That's the truth be told. I don't. I don't have a death wish. I don't want to suffer. Uh, I remember when I lost 200 pounds, someone said to me, Sam, you just added years to your life. And I looked at them like, oh shit, I don't want to add years to my life. Like, I want to be healthy. Again, I don't have a death wish. I don't want to suffer. But for me, I'm thankful for for life. I make the most of my life. I'm a positive person. But it's like, how much can you like experience life? It's all meaningless. Now, again, I know that sounds a little negative, but I'm being honest with you. So I definitely don't want to go back to being 18. Now, I don't want to be 75 for like 10 years. I just want to be caught up in the rapture. That's truth be told. Luke, Sam, do you think you're a good guy with a good heart and good dude? Well, thank you. Look, I'm not perfect. I'll let you down. I remember someone told Jesus, he said, Jesus, basically, you're a good guy. And Jesus said to him, who's good? No one is truly good. And that's true. But there are people that have better characteristics than others. But I appreciate the compliment and love and respect back to you. Joe Boss, Sam, are you going to vote tomorrow? I did yesterday. I went to vote. I went to check my voter registry, and I was not registered in Florida because, again, I lived in New Jersey for 37 years. And the beginning of this year, I moved to Florida, and it was my mistake because when I went to the DMV and I transferred all my legal paperwork, they asked me, do you want to register to vote? And at that time, I said no because I thought, well, if I buy a home base, I don't want to have to re-register my address. And so I went to register like last week on vote.org, and I didn't realize that you have to register by October 9th. You have to register basically 30 days before the election period. So I'm out. I have to wait till the next round. I would have, and in my lifetime, I voted every other time. I've always voted since I've been 18. But because I moved states and I didn't realize I had to register by October 9th, and that was my fault, I can't. So I'm a little disappointed in myself with that. Luke, hey, brother, have a great night. Peace out. God bless you. God bless you also. Thank you, man. Gleno, I've been shooting blanks since 50. Same girl for a year. No babies with her. Thanks. Thanks, God. No, I'm not mad at that. That's a win, brother, in my opinion. If that's what you want. Everyone should do them. Gleno, I'm 52 now. I'm not mad at that. Luke, what was your strategy with day trading, brother? Just volatile stocks, trying to time certain time periods of the day and trying to make like a tenth or a quarter of a percent. Usually the S&P 500 market movers. I just try to catch a tenth or a quarter of a percent. You got to trade like hundreds of thousands of dollars to make that worth it. But I did it successfully for a while. But when I took losses, they were just too big. And I got to a certain point where I said, look, once I lose this much, I don't want to play with it anymore. I did it for about 8 years. Some years were good, but overall I lost money. And so at some point I said, I don't want to lose all my money. I'm working hard. It sucks because it kills your dream. I saw that as a way I could maybe just live off that. And for a while, I thought it would really be true. Now, maybe something will change in my mind, but I think I'm at the point where I don't want to play with it anymore because it would take me too long just to get back to zero. And I don't want to risk any more money. Just like I'm at with relationships. I've experienced a lot of relationships. I'm very thankful for the opportunity, but you get to a certain point where I don't want to risk any more emotional energy. It just takes too much out of you. Same thing financially. I don't want to risk it. It just takes too much out of you. So I'm not saying people should listen to me and then live their life based on me, but I'm sharing honestly my life and what I've experienced and I want as long as they're not hurting anyone. T. Dot, speak for yourself. We are not all sinners. Oh, T. Dot, let he who has no sin cast the first stone. T. Dot, God bless. Mark, great topic. Thank you, Mark. BC, PSL. Oh, Port St. Lucie. Love that area. Sorry, financial degree and just save 70% in low-cost index funds. That's smart. That's boring, but smart, and that's what it usually is. Boring is usually wiser. No debt. That's very smart. We could be brothers. I love you, man. Shave your head. Love and respect. BC, great comment. And if somebody wants to have a wise plan, I think they should listen to BC, how he just broke it down. It's good advice. And good job, brother. I'm very happy and proud of you. And I love Port St. Lucie. Great area. Friar S. I think wilder sex is much better than vanilla. I'm not mad at you. T-Dot. I remember paying $1,000 for a VCR. Yeah, they used to be up there. Friar S. I have lost a lot of weight since being diabetic. It's a wake-up call for sure. I lost a great friend to diabetes-related problems. I believe his kidney failed. I believe. I could be wrong. And my mom has diabetes. She still eats wild. A health scare will humble you. When I pinched a nerve in my chest and I went to the hospital, I thought I was having a heart attack. That woke me up. And that's what started the journey of health. I did that by working out instead of changing my diet, just working out like a madman. And I always tell you guys, like, look, I don't want to live like forever in this world, but when you're close to death, you don't want to die. You're scared. I was scared as hell of dying. I was scared of being in physical pain. So, you take that for what it is, but that's my experience. T-Dot. In the U.S., do they vote by proxy? I'm not sure, so I don't want to lie. I don't know the intricals with that. I don't want to lie to you. At least vote in New Jersey where you are registered. Well, I'm not registered anymore. I think I'm kind of like no man's land because now I'm a Florida resident. I can't vote in New Jersey. I don't believe. I don't know. I don't want to lie to you and give you false information. I tried to research some things. I couldn't figure it out yet. Sarah! Sex! You have my attention. Well, Sarah, you know I would have sex with you, but it would end in a disaster, and then we hate each other, and then I'm not friends with you anymore on Instagram. Damn it. So, but I've masturbated a couple times to Sarah's picture. I'm not going to lie to you. But I would never have sex with her in person. Why? Because it's a disaster. Sarah, you have to watch the replay because the live feed's almost over. I love you. I hope everything's going well. Frey S. I have a torn rotator cuff. I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm off work and I'm staying healthy. It's hard, but I'm focused. Love and respect, man. I hope you get better. I don't wish physical or emotional or mental pain on anyone. I don't. I want everyone to live a well life. All right, guys, girls, and everyone who watched, thank you. I hope this video helped you. Again, if you enjoyed it, if it helped you, I appreciate you taking the effort to click the thumbs up button, to share the video. And you can follow me on Instagram at the word inspire_38. Snow Dog, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you, Janice. I saw your Instagram today, Janice. I looked at your Instagram with you playing the guitar, man. I saw your passion. And keep doing your music. Keep doing the things that inspire you, Marin. I have a lot of love and respect for you. I'm praying for you and your husband and a successful RV business or whatever you want to do in your downsizing. Stephen, buy some land in Northern Ontario. That's what you want to buy land? If that's your dream, go for it. If you buy below your means, that's not a bad idea. I wish you well. Made less left born. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Frey. Thank you, Zykia. Thank you, BC. Love and respect. Peppa Pig. Hey, great chat. Thank you. Peace and love, guys. Try to stay positive, all right? That's all we can do.